Good evening, everybody. I am on a ship. It's an old sailing ship. There's a terrific storm. The sea is white with froth. The clouds are black as ink. There is lightning striking the mast, deafening the whole crew, splintering the mast. The rain is pouring down. The splinters from the mast, which collapses down on the ship, they're spraying everywhere into our faces. We feel absolutely lost. Next morning, I wake up. I'm on the beach. This is an archaeological expedition. The ship is gone. We don't know what's happened to it. Half of the crew has vanished. Now, we try to fulfill our mission. We go up the beach, we find some caves, and we locate the remnants of a lost civilization. There are some scholars on board. They have their notebooks. They're diligently copying out, transcribing information that they find, ancient inscriptions. But we have a problem. We don't have enough water, and these men, they're dying of thirst, even while they're writing down their observations. Now, this expedition, it doesn't last long, and thankfully there is a rescue, but not everyone is rescued. One of the people who is rescued turns out to be a policewoman. And for one reason or another, later that day, she is on duty after being rescued, and she fails to say, because she is so exhausted, that there are more survivors. And because of this, people die. Then I woke up. This was a dream I had last night. Because that policewoman in that dream did not make the extra effort, just that little bit more, that 1% extra effort, people died. The theme of this topic that everyone is going to receive today is extra effort delivers extraordinary results. Now, who's got an old house? Yeah, old houses, you just have to keep renovating and renovating all your life. I've been renovating my house for about 10 years, at least. Always you're going to Bunnings. Now there's an ant problem in the kitchen. So every day the ants find a new entry point to get to the bin, right? So I just seal it up, right? Every day I seal up a different place. Now, I am exhausted from this and from other things, but it's raining, and there's another problem with the house. There's a leak in the garage. However, even though I'm exhausted, I make the extra effort to go out to the garage and I check the roof. And it's dry, but the ground is wet. I discover a leak in the wall. The water is coming through the wall. Because I made the extra effort, I now know how to rectify that problem. And I wouldn't even think of that as a problem if my brother hadn't made the extra effort to go up on the ladder, look on the roof, and see that there was a huge space between the garage and the wall of the house where the water could get in. He made the extra effort, I made the extra effort, and it's delivered results. Now, this is a philosophy of mine, and it's backed by physics. It's backed by science. There was a great scientist, a great physicist called Maxwell in the 19th century. He basically helped to invent electromagnetics. Einstein rearranged some equations, invented relativity. Maxwell had a metaphor for how the universe works. I don't claim to understand how this is applied or what this is for, but there are two boxes. There are particles moving at a slow speed in one box, and there is another empty box. This metaphor is called Maxwell's demon. There is a demon, a deus ex machina. He decides to open a space between the boxes. He opens it and closes it. There is one particle in the first box which is moving at a higher speed than all the other particles. That particle is more likely to enter the second box when the door is opened. Once it is in that second box, it is on a permanently higher plateau than all the particles in the first box. because that particle made the extra effort, it was warmer, it was something, it was up with it, it is now faster than all the other particles. It is in a new zone, a new reality. And I look at people like Elon Musk, the ideas he comes up with all the time. New idea after new idea after new idea, and he succeeds. These aren't crazy ideas. These are things which are practical that people invest in. He's operating on a higher level, like that faster particle. And I just have to wonder, I think that's amazing. Now, just a bit later on, I'm going to tell you, hopefully you're going to receive the information from me, as to how you can make an extra effort, how you can do this without tiring yourself out, because it's really tiring. So you can't work 12 hours a day permanently. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You have to love. That's how it works. You have to love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, you're an instantaneous expert. Your subconscious is working all the time, even while you're sleeping, to deliver extraordinary results. Now, there's something that really impressed me about Kennedy. Kennedy was a very impressive president. He said something weird that I never understood. He talked about doing it the hard way. We go to the moon because it's hard, not because it's easy. Now, I always like to do something the easy way, right? Why do it the hard way? But I'm starting to understand why he said that. When you do something the hard way, and you put in that extra effort, you get absolutely extraordinary results. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, so long as you love it. And those engineers on the Apollo program, they were absolutely in love with what they were doing. The mathematics, the engineering, everything. So when you get going, when you put in the extra amount, you get a huge benefit. Thank you.